voluntarily was Ralph Bunch. And that included people that he had gone to Boston English High School with, who were on the high school journal with my dad. And even though they knew him, because Harvard at that time was so segregated, that when he was trying to engage with people he had gone to high school with, they just looked right over him and said, "What book do you want?" Not looking at him. They gave him the book he wanted, and then they went to the next person. I say all that because I felt that for me, I had to come to Radcliffe College to vindicate my father's experience. He ended up going for 2 years at Harvard and then went to City College. And I have to say that when I got to Radcliffe, I was somewhat disappointed because one of the major questions that the women in the dorm were discussing is whether men could come into the dormitory and get in beyond a carpet that was put at the front door. The carpet was not a very large carpet. And as I recall, my first experience with one of the conversations at Radcliffe College was women complaining that the reason they didn't want the men to come past the threshold is that they wanted to be able to walk around in their slips. So that's what I was doing in 1967. Well, I was going to say one other thing. If we could get to 1968, then I can tell you some better stories.
Do 1968. 1968.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually brought...
It's very depressing.
No, what I brought is December 1968 sit-in at Fay House. This is a sit-in by 27 black women at Radcliffe College, and there's a picture actually right here. I was one of those 27 black women at Radcliffe College. And, what's that? That many? Well, that's if you count all 4 years. But we were there trying to get the administration to focus on admitting more black students, not just women students, although Radcliffe was a separate admissions program. And when I came across this, I just felt really proud that we were willing to sit in at Fay House and take on the president of Radcliffe College. We got nowhere, but...
Hello, and welcome to another edition of your Human Service News and Information. I am Hassan Rashid, and I'll be with you for approximately 25 more minutes. It's excellent being with you, and it's such a great achievement to come into your lives like we do weekly here at CCTV. So, okay, before we move along to the program, I'd like to bring a special announcement to your attention. Okay, the Port Cafe today at 6 p.m. That's today, January 21st, 6 p.m. There will be an event entitled Black Lives Matter in Cambridge. Nonviolent March and Die-In. That's it'll start today at 6 at Jill Rohn Park in Central Square. That's Jill Rohn Park right here in Central Square, across from the fire station, and that's like kitty cat corner, or whatever from CCTV at 438. So that's at Jill Rohn Park, Central Square, across from the fire station. That's Black Lives Matter in Cambridge Nonviolent March and Die-In. 6 p.m. That's at 6 p.m. today. And the march ends at City Hall at 7 p.m. And then they'll go to Danger Awesome Underground, 645 Mass Avenue for food, art, and dialogue. They want me to remind you that you are needed, so you be there. That's Jill Rohn Park, Central Square, across from the fire station. And that's right across from the fire station, just a few steps from CCTV, okay? So they want you to join them to declare that Black Lives Matter in Cambridge today, tomorrow, and every day. March and die in support Black lives with poetry and art, make your voice heard. So that's today, 6 p.m., march with them. And then join the Port Cafe for dinner and dialogue about racial equity in Cambridge. Okay, so 6 p.m. starts, once again, at 6 p.m. starts in Jerome Park, organized by Black Lives Matter. Dinner will be at approximately 7:30 at the Danger Awesome Underground Space. That's 645 Mass Avenue, not the Prospect Street location. So once again, it's a 645 Mass Avenue, not the Prospect Street location. Food donated by local restaurants such as Veggie, Galaxy Food, Four Burgers, and the Middle East, like the Port Cafe. Okay, that's Black Lives Matter today at 6 p.m. Jerome Park, right across from the fire station, and it's also right across from CCTV. Once again, I'm Hassan Rashid, and this is your Human Service News and information. That opening video was a continuation of the video we ran last time that we were on the air here of the visit that Martin Luther King paid to Cambridge in 1967. So I told you I'm gonna just run that until that video is finished, so that you can get the whole experience. Okay, from the First Christ Church. I think yeah, that's the name of the First Christ Church. They sponsored a visit by Martin Luther King when he came to Cambridge in 1967, and we're just about a couple days away from the great celebration that was held at the City Hall, St. Peter's Church, the YWCA, and the Citywide Senior Center in honor of the late and great Martin Luther King, which was, by the way, a huge success. Cambridge, I congratulate you on that one. Okay, we're going to move right along to what's happening here at the CCTV. I want you to know that the new newsletter is out here at CCTV, and it'll be here until March 15th, and then it'll change to another newsletter. But I want to give you a look at the title of it. That's Open Studios Cambridge Responds. Okay, so if you like an edition of this, a copy of this, you come walk right on in CCTV, 438 Massachusetts, and request a copy from a receptionist. So that's the new edition of CCTV's newsletter, Open Studios, and it'll tell you just about everything you want to know that's happening here at CCTV for the month of January, February, and March. Okay. Okay, we got a few other things that's on my mind I'd like to tell you about. That's CFMFAN.org. Dr. John Lackey-Musi, motivation speaker, life coach, and church by phone. He's got something going on called Church by Phone. So if you'd like to get involved in this, you can call 712-775-7031, and meeting ID, that's 416-509-807. So if you like a more detailed account of this Church by Phone program, you can check out Dr. John's website. That's okay, hold on. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but okay, so I don't see the website here, but you can email them for additional information. That's a CFM FORALLNATIONS @gmail.com. Once again, that's a CFMFORALLNATIONS @gmail.com. Or you can call another number here for you. That's 206-777-5885. That's Church by Phone. So you joined Dr. John Lackey-Musi and by telephone. And so that's his weekly conference call, Mondays through Saturday, 10 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays overnight, 11:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Special Agenda services from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Friday. So I know you'll be hearing more about that one. That's Church by Phone. Dr. John, CCTV's own, by the way, Dr. John Lackey-Musi. Okay, so so once again, don't forget now. There's a march that's being held at the at the Jerome Park at 6 o'clock, and it's a march relating to Black Lives Matter in Cambridge, okay? So that's 6 p.m. Jerome, right across from the Central Square Fire Station, and at 7 o'clock they're going to be meeting at 6:45 for dinner at the, geez, what's the name of that place? It's a new place in town. Okay, it's the, okay, hold on. The name is a very difficult name for me to remember. That's at Danger Awesome, okay? Underground space, 645 Mass Avenue, and not the Prospect Street location. That's Black Lives Matters in Cambridge today, 6 o'clock, and they're gonna meet and walk to the City Hall from Jerome Park. So you make sure that you get there. They'll be looking for you. Okay. Guess what? Governor Baker cites 76.5 million budget shortfall. Says budget gap is due to overspending. Advocates fear cuts to human services. Okay. Governor Baker, he argued that the shortfall is primarily the result of the state spending too much. Before Deval Patrick departed earlier this month, he gave Charlie Baker, his gubernatorial successor, traditional gifts including a pewter key, a gavel, and a 19th century Bible. He left a Massachusetts economy that is by many measures humming along. Okay, but Patrick also left Baker something more pernicious, a mid-year budget gap the new governor pegged Tuesday at $765 million. The announcement raises the specter of painful cuts to services and begin in earnest the first true challenge of Republican tenure, how to quickly bridge the facial chasm. Baker argued that the shortfall is primarily the result of the state spending too much and underscored the importance of fixing it quickly. This problem needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed now, Baker said at a State House news conference. Okay, so that's the latest from the State House. $765 million budget shortfall. Okay, we'll right along to some things that's happening elsewhere in the city. Okay, there's a men's support group. The men's support group continues to meet every second and fourth Tuesday. The group always begins with meditation. Then there is the opportunity for informal conversation and catching up on topics of interest. Lunch will be served members of the group. To register, call 617-349-6060. Once again, to register, call 617-349-6060. This program is free to seniors 60 plus. So that's the next time that this group meets will be on January 27, 2015. That's this year, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. That's 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. at the Cambridge Citywide Senior Center, 806 Massachusetts Avenue, Cambridge, Mass. Okay, so there's a Meals on Wheels drivers position that's available. If you like that experienced drivers, there's a Meals on Wheels driver, 15 hours a week, Somerville, Cambridge. Compensation, starting salary is $10.50 an hour plus mileage. Dependable people needed to deliver meals to homebound elders while providing limited daily contact with program participants. In addition, drivers are responsible for reporting any information that presents a question or concerns for a client well-being to their immediate supervisor. Valid mass driver license and good driving history required. Access to a reliable automobile and current insurance certificate required. Knowledge of Somerville, Cambridge area, very helpful. So please send resume to HR Somerville. That's Human Resources Somerville. Elder Services, 61 Medford Street, Somerville, Mass. 02143. So once again, please send your resumes to HR Somerville, Cambridge, Elder Service, 61 Medford Street, Somerville, Mass. 02143, or you can fax it. That's at 617-628-1085, or email. Okay, that's HR, lowercase letters, HR@eldercare.org. So that's regular part-time employees may be eligible for a limited benefit package. So once again, that's an employment opportunity at the Meals on Wheels driver, 15 hours a week, Somerville. Compensation starting at $10.50. Okay. Okay, so since we're still in the spirit of the Martin Luther King holiday, this past holiday weekend, Martin Luther King holiday, and I'd like to share some of this video again about the experience that Cambridge had when Martin Luther King came to Cambridge, paid a visit to Cambridge. Okay, so here we go again.
Still felt good.
Byron, I'd like you to join the discussion because you got a history both as a civil rights and anti-war activist going back to the 1960s. You remember before the Congress of Racial Equality had many disagreements with SCLC and Dr. King about his leadership in the civil rights movement. Can you help me?
Sure, I'd be happy to talk about that, but I want to start with this year. I have to say, I was in Boston. I started organizing. I went to school around here, but that had very little to do with my history. But by 1964, I had worked for the Congress of Racial Equality Corps, and like a number of workers in that part of the civil rights movement, we had moved more and more away from organizing around ending racial discrimination. Especially those of us who worked in the North realized that that was not the issue that when you knocked on people's doors, they wanted to talk about first. Certainly it wasn't overt racial discrimination. And many of us we started to call ourselves, because we wanted to have another name, so we called ourselves community organizers. I got interested in the Northern Student Movement, and I came to Boston in the summer of '64 to work with the Northern Student Movement and organize here. And then while I was doing that organizing, one of the things, of course, that young people talk to me a lot, especially young boys and men, talked to me a lot, was the war. And then it was the war. And it was this, and they knew about the war because they knew if it wasn't happening to them immediately, they had friends who were being drafted, and those friends who were being drafted were being sent to Vietnam. When I, years later, when I got elected to the Massachusetts legislature, I decided that I better get my FBI records because I just don't want anything popping up while I'm up here at the State House that I didn't know about. So, and they came in very handy because they remind you of things that you forget about completely. And so things like, I just, for this event, I went and dug up the folders.
Okay, this past weekend, since we're on the topic of Martin Luther King and watching the video, which several familiar people from Cambridge reflected on the 1967 visit of Martin Luther King to Cambridge at the Christ. That's the First Christ Church in Cambridge. We'll get back to that, but I'd like to just add a little bit here, headlines concerning Martin Luther King's legacy seen across Massachusetts. Okay, this past weekend, the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. was celebrated across the Commonwealth through community building services and learning activities from the Berkshires to Boston. Nonprofit engaged residents of all ages and activities that, like Dr. King, promoted the importance of caring for others. Here's just some of the events that took place across the state through Project 351. Eighth graders, ambassadors from 351 cities and towns across Mass gathered at the State House on Saturday to kick off a years of service and leadership development throughout the day. The hundreds of students participated in projects the City Year, Boston Cares, Pine Street Inn, Cradle to Crayons, and the Greater Boston Food Bank, and of course City Hall, St. Peter's Church here in Cambridge, Episcopal Church here in Cambridge, and the YWCA, and of course citywide senior center. So that's just just a reminder of how successful this past weekend has been, celebrating the lives of Martin Luther King. Okay, another thing, before we leave you and get out of here, the True Story Theater and the Cambridge Historical Commission presents the Port Area 4 Stories of Belonging. That's Tuesday, January 27, 6:30 p.m., the Central Square Theater, 450 Massachusetts Avenue, just a few short doors from CCTV. Cambridge, all are welcome. Free event. Donations appreciated. Share your story and hear stories of residents featured in the Cambridge Historic Commission upcoming book, We Are Port, by Sarah Boyer. See these stories and audience remembers stories dramatized with live improvisational theater performance by True Story Theater. The more info and to reserve tickets, that's truestorytheater.org. So the Port Area Stories of Belonging, True Story Theater, and the Cambridge Historical Commission presents this event. That's Tuesday, January 27, 6:30 p.m., the Central Square Theater, okay? So for more information and to reserve tickets, go to truestorytheater.org on the web. Okay, once again now, they'll be meeting at 6 o'clock at Jill Rohn Park. That's join them to declare that Black Lives Matter in Cambridge today, tomorrow, and every day. March and die in support of Black lives with poetry and art. Make your voice heard. So that's contact Black Lives Matter Cambridge.gmail.com. Excuse me, Black Lives Matter Cambridge at gmail.com. So they're at right now. They're going to be gathering at 6 o'clock at Jill Rohn Park, right across from the Cambridge Central Square Fire Station, and then they're going to march to the City Hall. They're going to start marching to the City Hall, and at 7:30 dinner is going to be served. Everybody show you can go down to Danger Awesome Underground Space, 645 Mass Avenue, not the Prospect Street location, and treat yourself to dinner, okay? So that's Black Lives Matters in Cambridge today, tomorrow, and every day. So you get on over to Jill Rohn Park, starting at Jill Rohn Park. So that's just about it for me. So I'll tell you, simplicity and naturalness is the way. So keep your nose clean, play it straight, and don't forget to assist someone in need of your help. I'm Hassan Rashid. Until next time, I leave you with the greetings of peace.
That I had gotten now 25, 30 years ago.